Here's the deal. Life never happens how we want it to happen. There's always something that's going to happen. There's a saying, if you want to make life laugh, tell them your plans. In this video, we're going to talk about what you can do when life doesn't go as you expected or as you planned. My name is Pamela Deneuve, and I have worked with lawyers for over 25 years, and we coach on things to help lawyers overcome anything that is blocking them from having a successful practice. That means anything involving your health, your law practice, or even your family life, because it's all combined, and we want to make sure that you win in your law practice and in your life. Okay, what do you do when you make a plan, you think you're going to have your life the way you want it to, and then it goes awry? I recently had this happen in my own life because I had these projects that I wanted to have done by the end of December, in this end of 2023, and I said, I'm going to have these all done. But what happened was, in October, I got a viral infection that totally incapacitated me, and I was not able to work on those projects. And so those projects are moved along 2 months later. But what do you do when things don't happen as you want? So the first thing you want to do is, when things don't go as you want, is you want to get out of denial. You want to admit that, okay, this is happening, there's nothing I can do about it, and I had to change it. That's what I had to do, because I still had in my mind my deadline. So I felt all this pressure when really I should have been healing. So I had to stop and say, okay, this is happening, I'm sick, I'm going to have to move my deadline. And as time went on, it took longer than I thought, sicker longer than I hoped. And so then I had to say, okay, I'm moving this project 60 days down. So that's getting out of denial, admitting the facts, and then adjusting to the facts. Number 2 is you want to acknowledge the problem. Once you admit that there's a problem, what is the problem? Is the problem dealing with your health, as in my case? Is it dealing with your finances? Is it dealing with your relationship? Is it dealing with your marriage? Is it dealing with your children? Whatever it is that is in the way that you have to make changes for, you have to acknowledge what it is. Because you can't change it if you're not really saying what it is. You're not changing the situation when you don't admit what your problem is. It's very important to say, this is what I need to do in my finances. This is what I need to do in my health. For example, with my health, I went to several doctors, I went to the ER, I got medications. I had to address the problem. If I had pretended like I wasn't sick, I would not have gotten well. If you pretend like you're not having a financial problem, then you can't remedy that by getting a loan or moving money around. We have to acknowledge what the problem is. Okay, now you've acknowledged what it is. Now what are your next steps? There's always a step. When you're changing things, when you're acknowledging that there's a problem, then what's the steps? So in my case, as I said before, I had to let my team know that we were going to delay these projects. So we were going to maintain certain projects that are ongoing. As far as the deadline projects, those were moved later. So for you, what are the next steps? Do you need to do something with your money? Do you need to do something with your law practice? Do you need to have a conversation with your wife? What are the next steps? Number 4 is, don't beat yourself up. Generally, we always are blaming ourselves when things don't happen the way we want. Sometimes it is our fault. Maybe we procrastinated too late, or maybe we allowed different circumstances to happen that make it our fault that it happened. But whether it was your fault or whether it was something like I became ill, you cannot beat yourself up, because it doesn't make anything better. Beating yourself up, blaming yourself or blaming others is not going to move the dial. It's not going to make anything better. So you want to make sure to not blame yourself, not beat yourself up, deal with the facts. Number 5 is, you don't want to give up. Life is going to always happen. Life is going to present challenges, difficulties, disappointments, and we have to deal with it. But we don't want to give up just because that happened. So for example, the projects that I have, I have like 2 or 3 projects that are moved 60 days in the future because of my illness. I don't give up on them. I just make an adjustment in my schedule. So I still have plans. The same for you. Things happen. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your plans. Don't give up on your goals. Just make a plan. Okay? Just make sure that you have a strategy, You have your goals in place, you have them written down so that you know that you can move to the next level. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. Click the subscribe button and click the bell so that you will be alerted when our next video comes out.